The way that many people look at time, you just sort of move and float from one day to the next day. Judaism believes that just like people have souls, that people have a charisma, people have a spiritual charisma, days of the year also have a charisma. The Sabbath has a charisma to it. The Sabbath has a holiness to it. The Sabbath has a soul. A Jew couldn't possibly imagine that, you know what, it's convenient for me to take Wednesday off this week, so I will eat cholent on Wednesday. I can assure you that cholent on Wednesday doesn't work. Shabbos is a special time, but just like Shabbos is special, each and every one of our holidays has a power to it. And if a person doesn't study, they're not going to appreciate what that power is. For many people, it could be that a holiday is just a day off, just a day that they don't work. But we need to focus on the word. It's not a holiday, it's a holy day. And just like each person's soul is different, each day has different holiness to it. Which means Passover, Pesach, is about liberation. It's about freedom. That's the day that we left Egypt. The first day of Passover is very different from the last day of Passover. The last day of Passover is the time when the Jews stood by the water and the Egyptians had chased them down, and that's when the sea split. It's a very different experience leaving Egypt versus feeling that your life had just now been saved. One is you're escaping with your life. The other is the joy of seeing this open miracle right in front of you. 50 days after the Jews leave Egypt, the heavens open up. God speaks. This means that every year on Shavuos, if a Jew is willing to pay attention, the heavens open up and all that we need to do is accept the Torah. Every year on Sukkot, it's not just it happens to be that this time of year is a nice time to sit in the sukkah. In fact, it could be quite the opposite. But what happens on Sukkot? Sukkot is the day that the clouds came back. When the Jews sinned with the golden calf, the clouds that had protected them had dissipated. When the Jews prayed to God, when Moses prayed to God, when the Jews were forgiven on Yom Kippur, and I'll stop right there for a moment. If the Jews were forgiven one year in Yom Kippur, that means that every single year Yom Kippur has within its personality a time for forgiveness and a time for holiness. But when the Jews were forgiven on Yom Kippur, what happened then is that the clouds returned. When those clouds return, that's when we sit in the sukkah. Which means if we're really going to be spiritually sensitive, it's not just that these are days off or holidays. There is a holiness to it. The more we study about these days, the more we'll be able to reveal and to uncover the essence of this holiness, and therefore the more we'll be able to become attached to it and grow from it.